Hello, and welcome to the Anderson System. We have 17 authors and counting. Thank you very much for visiting our channel, and please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you once again. Now let's get started. Am I faking DID? Is it all in my head? Am I a fraud? Who am I? Sometimes I ask these questions about faking DID because when you have DID, sometimes you feel like you're faking it. Sometimes you feel like, gee, this is not real. This is not really happening to me. It really feels kind of distant in a way to you. And so this is a very common feeling when you have dissociative identity disorder, of feeling like you are faking it, or feeling like you are a fraud, or feeling like you are playing make pretend, and the alters somehow are just your characters that you created, even though you kind of did create them, but you didn't create them on purpose. You created them as a child. But your mind plays tricks on you, and you feel like, well, gee, maybe I'm just role playing and I'm really a fraud and I really don't have dissociative identity disorder, but you do. And so sometimes I have that feeling of, well, gee, fuck it, I'm faking it. This is not real. I'm not really have DID. It's just something that I decided to make up one day, and that's it. But I realized that's not the case because, once you think you're faking DID, then a dissociative episode will come along and you realize that, shit, I'm not faking it anymore, because I can't understand how I went from the living room to the kitchen with no memory of going into the kitchen from the living room. Like, how do you describe that? How to describe notes that are left for me from a different alter? Well, if I'm faking it, then that must be some kind of really intense, sleepwalking. Like, how do I describe that? And also, I thought to myself, well, if I'm really faking it, why the hell am I spending my money on a therapist? Therapists are expensive. They're not cheap. It's not cheap to get a therapist, and so I'm paying every week to see a therapist for a disorder that I'm faking. Now, if you're doing that, there's something really messed up with you. You probably have something mental going on. If you actually are doing that, there's definitely something mental going on. But the average person do not say, well, gee, I want to give my therapist a few $100 a week or whatever it may be, or if I use insurance, or if you use insurance, or if you pay out of pocket, whatever it may be. Why would you want to pay a therapist and waste your time seeing a therapist if you are faking that shit? And most people don't. And so sometimes I feel like, gee, I am faking it, and this is not real. The alters are not real. I'm not real. Nothing is real. And sometimes I feel that way too, that nothing is real. Like nothing. There's nothing that's real. That even this world is just one big freaking simulation, and there's nothing that is actually concrete or solid or real. Even alters. Sometimes I feel like the alters are just are not real. I don't know how to describe them. Sometimes I feel like they're just not there, or they're there but they're not there. It's really hard to describe. And so if you have DID and sometimes you feel like I'm faking it, I'm a fraudster, I'm a trickster, well, good chances are you actually do have DID. Because if someone who's faking DID, they will not think that way. If you're really faking DID, you will not think about faking DID because you're faking. But if you do have DID, you will think that you're faking. And it's kind of a weird thing, but hopefully you can understand. So this is to help you out, those systems out there who are my friends. I have a lot of friends who are systems. If you feel like today, like you say, today, I think I'm a fraudster, I'm a freakster, I'm counterfeit money, whatever. You may feel that way about yourself. You're not. Remember, because if you are faking it, you're faking it. And there are people out there who fake it for views. They fake it for people to see their videos on TikTok, YouTube, whatever it may be. Some people, they do fake it, And someone asked me, what do you feel about people faking DID? Does it offend you? And that's actually a good question. I do get offended that the people will fake it because they don't go through the trauma that I went through. Like that's really fucked up. That's not cool. They never went through trauma and they faking DID. That's just straight up foul. But am I upset they actually are presenting as someone with dissociative identity disorder? I guess it depends if they're giving people the correct information. If someone is actually faking the idea but giving people really good information about it because they actually studied on the whole thing before they put out the video, then I have a little bit less of a problem. I'm like, well, at least they're telling the truth. Like, it's kind of a weird thing to say that. But about the disorder, not saying that they're telling the truth about their disorder. And so I got mixed feelings about that. Yes, I do get mad about it. But at the same time, I don't want to attach myself to DID because DID is not my. I have DID, but I want to make DID my I guess to make it to be me in a way. You know what I'm saying? I don't want because some people hold this disorder like it's like gold to them. Like I don't want to hold on to DID like it's my identity. That's what I'm looking for. My identity. No, I'm trying to figure out. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to figure out who am I? Yes, but DID is not something that's so sacred to me that if I see someone faking it, that I want to flip out on them. I'm not going to do that. I think it's shameful that those who do fake it. I think it's stupid. I don't know why you're doing it. And maybe because people think the switching is cool, and switching is not really fun. I never really had fun with switching really, because switching can be how can I word it? It gives me headaches. Every time I switch, I get a headache. I don't know if any of you experience that. If you have, please leave it in the comments down below that you're saying switching gives you headaches. It gives me fucking headaches, and I hate it. It gives me headaches. And not only that, I lose time, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know what I said to somebody, and they get pissed off at me, and it really sucks. And so switching is not something I'm like, yes, let's do that today. Let's switch. Fuck that. I'd rather not switch. I'd rather just be me present in my body. And so I talked to my therapist about feeling like you're fake or feeling like you have imposter syndrome or something. And he told me, no, you don't. He says, I've been doing, he's a trauma specialist, and he can tell if someone is faking a disorder. He says he can tell off the bat if someone's full of shit. And he says, no, you are the real genuine deal. You do have DID. And he kind of broke it down to me that actually, hey, you do have DID. I'm like, oh, okay, you're probably right because it definitely meets everything in the criteria. You're definitely right. And so if you feel like you're a fake $4 bill or whatever, you're not. You're not. You actually are a genuine $1 bill. And so anyway, this is Adam Anderson, the host of the Innocent System, signing off.